Chicago, USA. 1995. A murder occurred that shocked the whole city. A respected local archbishop was murdered at his home. The murderer not only stabbed him 78 times and poked his eyes out, cut off his fingers. Besides, their deceased's chest was carved with a knife. Strange characters with unknown meaning. B32.156. When the police heard the news and rushed to the scene, their archbishop's body was still warm. Eyewitnesses claimed during the incident, a young man covered in blood was seen escape from the scene. According to eyewitness testimony, their police soon captured the suspect, named Alan. Alan is a 19-year-old boy. His body was not only stained with the blood of the deceased, he also left a large number of footprints and fingerprints at the murder scene. Based on these clues, their local prosecutor's office is preparing to charge him with intentional homicide. Prosecution against Alan. Eve of trial. Chicago's golden lawyer Gigi take the initiative to apply to become Alan's defense lawyer and publicly claimed that he would defend Alan against 5 crimes. Gigi was originally a prosecutor in Chicago. Later he resigned and founded a law firm currently quite famous in the local area. Brother G is keen on pursuing money and fame. Often helped some criminals clear their names. Not long ago he also won a lawsuit on behalf of a gangster. Although Alan's case was ostensibly unprofitable, but in Gigi's opinion this case shocked the whole city. Regardless of whether the case is won or not, he can grab more media space so as to take your reputation to a higher level. Of course, although Brother G is chasing fame and profit, he is just trying to gain fame and fame. But it also has its own set of criminal principles. In his opinion, suspects are innocent until convicted, and human nature is good even if many people are eventually found guilty. When these guilty people commit crimes, there must be a reason for everything, so everyone should get a chance to start a new life. After becoming Alan's defense attorney, Brother G came to the police station, immediately met Alan in person. First meet, Brother G intuitively believes that Alan is not the murderer. Alan looks timid and weak. He still stutters when he speaks. He told Brother G he didn't kill anyone at all. The day of the crime he just ran to the archbishop's house to return the book. Who would have thought that as soon as he entered the house, I saw the bishop lying in a pool of blood. There is a person squatting next to him. He must be the murderer. It's just that Alan hasn't had time to see their murderer's face clearly, just fainted. This has been his problem for many years. I often faint suddenly and for no apparent reason. Sometimes some memories are lost. The day of the crime, when Alan wakes up from the murder scene, it was discovered that the murderer was missing, but his body was covered in blood. Obviously the murderer wants to blame others. Because I was worried that I would be arrested as a murderer. Alan then fled the scene in panic. After hearing what happened, Alan confided his life experience to Brother G. Again, his mother died young. My father has bad habits of alcoholism and domestic violence. 2 years ago Alan finally couldn't stand his father's abuse, came to Chicago alone to beg for a living. Later he was taken in by a kind archbishop, become a Fuji in the church. It can be said their archbishop was extremely grateful to Alan. How could Alan act in such a cruel way? What about killing his benefactor? After listening to Alan's confession and life experience, Brother G is more confident in his judgment that is Alan can't be the murderer. That being the case, so who is the real murderer? Brother G then asked his 2 assistants to a detailed investigation into the deceased archbishop, see if the other party has any enemies. As long as other suspects can be found, this case, which originally seemed certain to be lost, it is possible to turn defeat into victory. Who knows? The new suspect has not been found yet. The day for the first round of court hearings has arrived. The prosecution lawyer is the young and beautiful female prosecutor Laura. Laura is Gay's ex-wife. Hers extensive prosecution and defense experience because the local prosecutor Bayi believed that Alan was the murderer. Under the pressure of Bayi, Laura was on fire as soon as the court session began. Undisputed accusation: the murderer who brutally murdered the archbishop was Alan, and Alan, under the instruction of Brother G. Laura was questioned again and again without saying a word. Gigi explained to the judge and jury that their defense team is planning to hire a psychiatrist, conduct a comprehensive assessment of Alan's mental condition. Before the evaluation results come out, Alan has the right to remain silent. To all the questions raised by the prosecuting attorney will be answered by Gigi. The purpose of Gigi's move in order to avoid the simple and cowardly Alan falling into the language trap of the prosecution lawyer. Also for assistants who are looking for clues, gain more time. Thanks to Gigi and Laura, they all know each other's abilities and tactics well. The two got into a heated exchange of words in court. No one took advantage. This is how the first round of the trial ended. At the same time, a male assistant of Brother G, while searching for clues at Alan's residence, confronted with a suspicious man. 2 people are fighting. Their male assistant pulled off one of the suspicious man's earrings. Their suspicious man took the opportunity to escape from Alan's residence. Lost their earrings that Brother G brought back to his male assistant. Take it to the police station and identify Alan. Alan recognized it at a glance. Their owner of the earrings is Ali, another prostitute in the church, but he didn't know why Ali showed up at his residence. I only know that the other party has a very close relationship with the archbishop. Brother G couldn't help but doubt this. Ali is probably the real murderer of the archbishop. This kid is now running to Alan's residence. Maybe he wanted to stuff some evidence in there. So that Alan's murder crime can be confirmed, except earrings. Brother G's male assistant is still at Alan's residence, found a picture of a girl after seeing the photos, Alan claiming that the girl above is his ex-girlfriend Linda. It turned out that Linda was also calling for help. But after breaking up with Alan, her whereabouts are unknown. Brother G noticed Alan talking about Linda. Their expression is quite weird, obviously unwilling to say more just at this time. Sister Mo, the psychiatrist hired by Brother G, also rushed to the police station. Brother G then handed over the task of questioning Alan to Sister Mo. He rushed back to the law firm because one of his female assistants made a big discovery. Local prosecutor Bayi and several real estate businessmen. I once bought a piece of land, prepare to forcibly demolish all the slums located there and renovate it into an upscale community. This area happens to be the territory of a gangster. Before GG took on Alan's case, I even won a lawsuit for this GUI. In order to protect their territory. Gangsters. He took the initiative to find the Archbishop, let him come forward to stop the development project of Bayi and others. Their Archbishop considered many members of my church live in slums. Once the slums are forcibly demolished, these people will be homeless, so he accepted the gang boss's request. Use your reputation and connection, stopped development projects in high-end communities. Mr. Bayi and others lost tens of millions of dollars as a result. Because of this matter, their Archbishop also received death threats during his lifetime. It seems his death is indeed full of doubts. Brother G then found the gang boss to verify the situation. Gangster bosses are easy. He directly identified it's just out of revenge for Mr. Bayi and the real estate businessman. Their Archbishop was killed at last. Their gang boss also expressed his righteousness. As long as Brother G needs it, he is willing to testify in court, identify the crimes of Bayi and others. Soon the second round of court hearings begins as scheduled. Prosecution lawyer Laura listed the footprints, this time fingerprints, and a series of evidence against Alan, but GG tried to circumvent the evidence. In turn, questioned the prosecution lawyer if Alan is the murderer, so what is the other party's motive for killing? Also, GG also stated in court that the Archbishop blocking upscale community development project. I just didn't dare to mention Master Bai's name directly. In GG's opinion, compared to Alan, who regards the Archbishop as his savior, those in upscale community developments real estate developers who suffered heavy losses, obviously more motive for murder. However, what GG didn't expect was that Laura also didn't bother with community development projects. Instead, another key piece of evidence was thrown out. Archbishop died. The murderer carved a string of characters on his chest. B32.156. The prosecution has now figured out the meaning of this string of characters. B32 is the number of a book in the church reading room. On page 156 of the book there is such a sentence that has been underlined: no one can live up to a false identity for long. Laura speculated based on this the murderer wants to tell everyone this sentence. Their Archbishop is a duplicitous person. If that's the case, someone who can see another side of the Archbishop's character. Only the people close to him. Is a prostitute in a church. Alan clearly meets this criteria. Besides books in the church reading room, only insiders like Alan can borrow it. If a real estate agent kills someone, why leave such clear clues? For this aggressive attack on Laura, Brother G's defense was temporarily at a disadvantage. In order to reverse the situation after the trial, he and his assistants immediately started a new round of evidence collection work. After many twists and turns, Brother G found the suspicious man Ali, who broke into Alan's house. Ali denied that he was the murderer of the Archbishop, but he revealed a shocking secret to Brother G. It turns out that the Archbishop is indeed a disguised beast with different appearances and duplicity. This old guy is usually well dressed, a serious look, but secretly, he has an unspeakable hobby. That means he likes to coerce others, shoot some short movies about multi-person sports. Ali broke into Alan's house before just to get back a videotape shot by the Archbishop himself. It records Ali, Alan and Alan's ex-girlfriend Linda. Indecent video featuring three people together. Ali's personal opinion: it should be that Alan couldn't bear the Archbishop's coercion. That's why he killed the other party and took the videotape. Ali's testimony shocked GG. If these testimonies are true, this means that Alan does have a motive for murder. That is to say, Alan may be the real murderer. GG immediately rushed to the Archbishop's home. Sure enough, I found Namuli mentioned the videotape. The content inside is unsightly. Brother G immediately brought the videotape to the police station. Asked Alan angrily why hide such important information. After listening to Brother G's question, Alan's mood suddenly became very irritable. He kept banging his head against the wall like venting inner pain, but Brother G, who was angry, turned a blind eye to Alan's mood changes. Instead, he kept reprimanding and cursing Alan for not cooperating. Now Alan was finally angered. He grabbed GG's collar, ranting and accusing him of being a useless defense attorney. At this time, Alan seemed to have completely changed. He doesn't even pick up the words anymore. Not only did he claim his name was Roy and admitted that he killed the Archbishop and said that this matter has nothing to do with their cowardly Alan finished. He also threw Brother G hard into the corner, forced the other party to quickly destroy the videotape. Brother G finally realized it after being briefly deceived. It turns out that Alan suffers from schizophrenia. The Roy he talks about should be his split-second personality. Just when Alan was about to continue to violence against Brother G, psychiatrist Sister Mo opened the door in time and came in. Under the comfort of Sister Mo, Alan gradually regained his composure after waking up. He even completely forgot what happened just now. After careful diagnosis, Sister Mo told Brother G, Alan is a typical patient with schizophrenia. As long as you are under tension and pressure, the Roy personality in him will be awakened. Roy is strong and violent. It's very different from Alan's timid and cowardly protagonist. Sister Mo had known about Alan's life experience before. She judges Alan may have been abused by his father for a long time only, then gradually developed a violent personality to protect himself. After thinking about all this, Sister Mo is very sympathetic to Alan's experience. In her eyes, Alan is a patient, not a criminal. Their other party should be sent to a professional mental hospital for treatment rather than being judged by the law. So Sister Mo suggested that Brother G tell the truth to the jury and the judge. This might help Alan find a way out, but Brother G flatly rejected Sister Mo's suggestion, because what he gave Alan before was a not guilty plea. Now we are temporarily changing our defense ideas. Undoubtedly, he slapped himself in the face in public. Besides, it's only based on Sister Mo's testimony alone. The judge and jury may find it difficult to believe that Alan suffers from schizophrenia. After returning to the law firm, GGE and two assistants planned the next defense strategy. The three decided to release the scandalous tape to the public first, expose the Archbishop's evil deeds in this way, despite letting the judge and jury know Alan's motive for the murder, but it will also gain huge sympathy for Alan. Then let the psychiatrist Sister Mo appear in court to testify, describe Alan's tragic childhood experience and prove that he suffers from schizophrenia. If everything goes well, Alan will be found not guilty and acquitted. The problem now is how to submit a videotape to the court. The videotape will certainly expose the Archbishop's bad behavior, but it will also reveal Alan's motive for murder. GG serves as Alan's defense lawyer. It is obviously inappropriate to submit evidence that is extremely detrimental to the client to the court. So after thinking about it, he asked his assistant to remain anonymous. Their videotape was quietly placed in front of the prosecution lawyer Laura's door. The shrewd lawyer quickly figured out that the videotape was sent by Brother G, even though he couldn't figure it out for the moment. What kind of medicine does Brother G sell in his gourd? But based on his understanding of Brother G, this guy must have other plans. Just when Laura is struggling, should the videotape be submitted as evidence to the court? Prosecutor Bayi, who learned that Laura had received the videotape, suddenly took the initiative to find Laura and ordered him to destroy the videotape immediately. But Laura, who had a stubborn temper, still disobeyed her boss's orders, submitted the videotape to the judge, because no matter what, this tape can prove that Alan had sufficient motive to kill. With the exposure of their videotape, Archbishop's ugly side immediately reported by the media, Brother G originally planned to take this opportunity to guide psychiatrist Sister Mo tell the court about Alan's childhood experiences and the fact that he suffers from schizophrenia to gain sympathy from the judge and jury for Alan, who knew that at this moment another murder occurred. The gang boss, who had previously agreed to testify against Bayi and the real estate agent, was shot dead. Chen Shiyu hits the mark with one touch there. Real culprit behind the scenes is apparently in an upscale community development. Bayi and others suffered a big loss. GG originally suspected that Bayi hired a murderer to kill the Archbishop. So after learning that the gang boss was killed, he became more convinced that Alan was just a scapegoat. After the court opened again, Brother G simply turned the blame on Bayi and exposed the personal grudge between Bayi and the Archbishop. It turns out that the two were once close friends. More than a decade ago, the Archbishop was reported for allegedly assaulting a young man. It was Bayi, who was the prosecutor general at that time, who suppressed the matter. This is why Bayi ordered Laura to destroy the videotape. He was worried that if the Archbishop's true identity was exposed, old cases from more than 10 years ago will also surface. By then he will not only lose his job, if not, you might even face jail time. In addition, Bayi protected the Archbishop back then. It was also the direct reason for Brother G's resignation from the procuratorate. At that time, Brother G, who was young and energetic, couldn't stand Bayi's behavior of abusing power for personal gain, angrily left the procuratorate and opened a law firm. In fact, this is why GG took the initiative to take over the murder case of the Archbishop. The underlying reason for free defense of Alan: he really wanted to find out who killed this old bastard, the Archbishop, as accused by the defense lawyer of being involved in the case. Bayi had to appear in court for cross-examination in person. Brother G questioned Bayi in court: is it because the Archbishop doesn't miss his old relationship, ruining your development project, causing you and your real estate dealer friends to lose tens of millions of dollars? That's why you planned to kill the Archbishop together. There was an uproar at the trial as soon as the statement was made, but the judge, who knew GG thoroughly, it can be seen at a glance that Brother G is worried about by GG at this moment. There is obviously a suspicion of public revenge. So he immediately terminated the trial. Then he called Brother G to his office, remind him not to bring personal items during the trial, because the purpose of this trial is to prove whether Alan committed murder or not, instead of dialectically discussing whether Bayi is the murderer. Even if Bayi admits that he really wants to kill the Archbishop, so what? Judging from the evidence currently available, there is No evidence pointing to Bayi after being scolded by the judge. Brother G had to reorganize his defense idea. Soon the last round of court hearings will begin. Brother G summoned the psychiatrist Sister Mo as planned. Sister Mo stated Alan's tragic childhood in court and elaborated on the fact that Alan suffered from schizophrenia. There is also a violent personality named Roy in the other party's body. In short, if Alan is the murderer of the Archbishop, so to be precise, it was Alan's second person. Roy, who killed him. From a medical perspective, the cowardly Alan has nothing to do with the murder. After Sister Mo finished her testimony, prosecution lawyer Laura immediately began a sharp refutation. In his opinion, Sister Mo is just an expert in mental psychology rather than criminal psychology. Experts no experience in forensics at all. Their conclusions given are not professional and authoritative either, and Sister Mo didn't take pictures of Alan's personality transformation process. Therefore, it is impossible to prove the existence of violent ROY. In addition, Sister Mo kept saying that Alan was abused by his father since he was a child. The self-protective second-person Growy was split, but in reality, many people have experienced abuse in childhood. If these people commit crimes in the future, is it possible to use a second personality to escape guilt? Laura's well-founded argument easily changed the views of the judge and jury. At his wits' end, Brother G decided to try to fight in court, awakening the Roy personality in Alan. For this reason, he deliberately led Laura to question Alan. Laura got carried away and fell into the trap. He began to mock Alan in court as a coward who dared not act, trying to use strong words to force Alan to confess. Under the stimulation of Laura's words, their violent Growy in Alan's body finally appears. He lost control of his emotions and pounced on the chattering Laura and strangled the opponent's neck. Just when Laura felt like she was about to suffocate to death, their bailiff, who was half a beat too slow, was able to subdue Alan. Strictly speaking, Roy was subdued. After this incident, the trial was once again forced to terminate. Everyone has witnessed the horrific scene of split personality. Everyone has lingering fears. The judge then ordered Laura and Brother G to call the office together to coordinate positions. It turns out that Prosecutor General Bayi called just now, strongly asking the judge to sentence Alan to death, but the judge decided to defy pressure and dismiss the jury, and then on the grounds that Alan is mentally ill, Alan was found not guilty and sent him to a mental hospital for treatment. Wait until the violent personality in Alan completely disappears, then release it. The judge now called their prosecution and defense lawyers to the office. I just want to hear whether the two of them have any objections to the verdict. Brother G naturally has nothing to say. Laura, who was still in shock, also expressed her obedience to the judge's decision. After the trial, Brother G came to the police station, informed Alan of the judge's decision. Alan, who has returned to normal consciousness at this time, returned to a shy and cowardly look after learning that not only was he not going to jail, but he could also receive treatment. Alan looked very happy. He expressed his most sincere thanks to Brother G, and when parting entrusted Brother G to apologize to Laura, who injured her neck. Brother G suddenly realized that something was wrong, since it was the violent Growy who attacked Laura, the main personality. Alan should be in a completely unconscious state. How did he know that Laura was attacked and injured her neck? At this time, Alan also realized that he had said the wrong thing, but now that their final verdict has come out, he simply stopped pretending. Alan told Brother G, I have never suffered from amnesia. There is no such thing as schizophrenia. Everything before his death was just directed and acted by him, means of getting away from guilt. After speaking, Alan revealed a surprising fact to Brother G. He not only killed the Archbishop but also the missing Linda, but the police may never find Linda's body. And in accordance with the American judicial principle of non-double jeopardy, it is also unlikely that prosecutors will charge him with murdering the Archbishop again. When Gigi learned the truth, he was stunned on the spot. Why haven't they invented the smartphone yet? Otherwise, at least the blunt words of Alan's confession can be recorded. Brother G realizes that he has failed miserably. Just asked Alan a question lightly. There was never Aunt Luo, was there? Alan smiled evilly and replied, no, there was never Ellen. After hearing this sentence, Gigi suddenly felt chilled. An indescribable fear arises in my heart. At the end of the story, Brother G avoided guarding the door of the police station. A large number of reporters prepared to interview him. Dejected, he quietly left through the back door. The story in this issue comes from the 1996 British masterpiece, First Level of Fear. This film and witness for the prosecution, The Usual Suspects, The Sixth Sense, Famous ID, Gene B. Island and other works are the same. They are also famous in extreme reversal movies. It is worth mentioning that First Degree of Fear is actually Edward Norton's screen debut, except for the eye-popping twist at the end. His performance is also a highlight of the film. Okay, that's it for today's story. Friends who like suspense, reasoning and visual exploration, don't forget to like and encourage. See you next time.